Did you take the highway or did you take the PCH when you came up?
Well, I drove up here on my motorcycle, and I look at I-5 every time thinking, that would be a quicker way.
I-5.
And I look down on the I-5 and cruise on down to the 101, and actually I was on time, so it was just a nice, easy cruise.
You were a little ahead of time. I was actually in my mental health therapy session whenever you and Peyton pulled up.
Yeah, I'm glad you're doing that.
And how was the coastal drive?
Makes me miss the waves. Makes me miss the ocean.
Yeah.
Looking out there and trying to focus on the road, but see how that left or that right is breaking, and wishing we could paddle out sometime soon.
No doubt, man. I feel you on that. Maybe tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
Maybe tomorrow.
We can go on a little exploration and find a legal, open place we can paddle out.
I was talking to Dave here the other day, and that's what he was saying. He's like, man, I'm just going to make a run for it one early morning and jump in the ocean. But, some guy actually did that the other day. Just, what was it, like Tuesday, Dave? I was telling you about that? Yeah. So it was like Tuesday, some guy, and he just went for it. It was a morning sesh. He went out first light, and he's out there, and I'm sure somebody just tattled on his ass. Yeah. Or maybe the cops. The cops are constantly cruising Beach, that's not Beach Street, Pacific Street, right? Yeah. And so I went down to get my standard burrito from the Buccaneer. By the way, the Buccaneer makes the best açaí bowls and the best breakfast burritos. Mm-hmm. Amazing. I had one today, açaí bowl, and one burrito. Solid. We get a thumbs up from Dave on the burrito too. That's good. It's definitely worth it. It used to be the place that I would bring all my overnight dates. Like if I would go out and, whatever. And then the morning time would come around. It was a beautiful sunny day because we live in San Diego. And we would, roll down the street, down the hill in my 68 and go get a burrito and share it on the beach over there. It was sort of my morning routine to see them off onto their way. I'd offer them a burrito. So, what's going on? You got a new girlfriend, man. How's that cruising? I've met her a few times. She's awesome.
Yeah,
she's way smarter than I am.
Drasana, I call her my COVID girlfriend. It's crazy how nothing like a good pandemic to bring two people together.
Oh boy. So it's like getting nope, I'm stopping there. It's not like getting a dog, okay? It's not like that. It's like, oh shit, Stuart's at home all the time, figuring out how to teach tiny children over the interwebs.
Yeah.
What they need to know about what exactly? What are you teaching them?
Oh, we're jumping from relationship into school. Well, no, let me wrap that up just by saying...
Sorry, I apologize.
It was really good
It'll take a turn.
To connect and, to really get to know someone. I feel like if we were in our normal day-to-day lives and I was working in school and she has her own acupuncture practice, we may see each other once or twice a week at the beginning of something where you just want to get to know someone. But as we've both slowed down and took a little step away from our professions, it's given us more time. And as the beaches were starting to close down and...
There's just capacity.
As we had to, distance ourselves socially, we were both in a position where we basically said, well, we're kind of in this together. We've seen each other a few times now. Yeah. And why go through something alone when you can go through it with someone? And yeah, it's been a nice time.
What you really mean is you met someone who's amazing, right? Which is Absolutely. What you just said. And she does some amazing things in health and behavioral, and like she's a healer. That I called her a healer. She didn't like that, but that's what she is in my mind, right? Yeah. Like she's very humble, beautiful healer, and I see 1,000 reasons why you should be with her. I can't think of more than 2 that she should be with you. But give me a minute. Maybe by the end of this conversation, I'll come up with a few more.
Yeah.
But no,
that sounds like something my dad would say.
There's a little downtime. I agree, and it's allowing folks to get closer together more often, I think, in an interesting place where being together is important. And I'm really glad as a friend, I'm really glad that you have somebody to spend time with on a frequent basis who you enjoy and they enjoy your time too. That's important.
Absolutely.
So good. So back to education. You are teaching these kids what exactly?
Well, so my teaching professional contract this year was with San Diego Unified School District, and I work in an elementary school, teaching kindergarten through 5th grade. So we teach 6 different age groups. And as this transitioned into distant learning quite quickly, I was working a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in school, and we were having open conversations about coronavirus and how it was starting to make its way into America and affecting the society and the communities we were living in. The students were even talking about it. And by that Friday, the whole school district was closed down. So
Wow.
it was a very quick transition into, wow, if someone had told me 3 or 4 months ago that every school in the country is going to be closed,
Man.
and all the beaches are going to be closed, and you can't come within 6 feet of someone, I was like, I think it took everybody by surprise. And I
Right.
feel that our superintendent and principal did a really good job communicating and getting together and to say, what are we going to do? So so my personal job in the transition of that was to create a platform where I can still reach out to my students, connect with my students, and teach them educational lessons. And I'm the physical educator and health science teacher.
Right.
So I felt it was really my responsibility to try and understand where the students were, that they're all in different backgrounds, and try and reach out to everybody in a platform where I can still deliver lessons.
Yeah. What kind of lessons?
So we've got physical education lessons,
Yeah.
but we've seen those before.
Am I doing side bends and sit-ups? Am I working that butt, Becky? Or
Exactly.
am I like, am
can
I doing
find-
yoga?
You
Or-
can find a million workouts or
Yeah,
more
right.
on the interwebs, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
part of that
Creativity
wasn't the
is key.
hardest piece for me. Was to deliver my philosophy on physical education, was to say, hey, here's a fun workout, but let's do this with a younger or older brother or sister.
Cool.
Let's pause this video and invite our parents into it, so we're working out together.
Yeah.
And having fun with that. So designing fun exercises where the whole family and the household can come together.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm getting excited. One fun one that I sent out on a YouTube video last week.
Oh, pick me. Hold on.
Yeah.
I actually had a real question.
Okay.
Let's go through a hypothetical. I'm a big happy family. Logan's big happy family. He got married and he and his nasty bits got a girl pregnant, and now they have a kid, and their kid is your student. So now you have Logan,
Yeah.
mom, and kid. What are you going to make us do?
So this kid's maybe like 6 or 7 years old, 1st or 2nd grade.
Yeah.
And that your kid is going to log into YouTube to see what nutrition recipes are on my YouTube channel, what
Nutrition recipes.
physical exercises. Nutritional recipes, how to grow your own garden. But in physical education, maybe your child logs into my YouTube channel and they'll see that I'm asking them to find 6 household items.
Okay.
Really,
6.
really random.
Yep.
6 household items.
So let's
to
go through
put
it. So I'm
in
going to get a spatula. I'm going to get a chair.
Yep.
I'm going to get my skateboard, my backpack, my mom's phone because she's always texting on it, and my dad's phone just to piss him off.
Okay.
That's 6 things.
That's great. I would
Okay.
recommend in the video, I'd say maybe something that's not breakable, maybe something that's not glass, maybe something that's not going to move, so it's not your household pet, you know. But then you stand in the center and you place these 6 items around you and you write a little list. And this is where you need someone like, you go and get your mom or your dad, because they're going to call out these 6 items in a random order, and you're going to have to run over and touch them.
I'm going to be calling them out. I'm going to say,
Come back into the middle.
I'm going to say, hey, Nalu. That's what my kid's name is.
You're going to say spatula.
I'm going to say,
chair,
hey, Nalu,
iPhone.
spatula, chair. And then they have to run and go get them.
They're not going to get them. They're just going to touch it. So
Oh.
this is an ability training, changing direction. It's promoting communication. It's getting down nice and low, changing your levels,
I like
speed,
it.
direction.
That's
so
cool.
It's really agility training. But in that one exercise, I made it fun. You can do it in any room or your back garden.
I imagine the parents are just loving the fact that their kids are just gobbling up all the things that have a place. And they're just like, I'm just imagining the kids just like setting all this random shit.
Yeah.
Right? Like just taking like mom's spatula that she's always missing, and
Dude,
she's
it's
going
so
to go
much fun.
find it. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, she's going to find it in the backyard a month later.
The one I was videoing this morning was how to teach anyone aged 4 through 94 years old how to juggle with 3 items. So
Oh, wow.
I have some juggling beanbags in PE. You don't want to say juggling balls. You don't really want to say the word balls too much when you're teaching physical education. But
Yeah, particularly like fifth graders.
Yeah.
Dude, you're doing some really cool things. I make fun because that's just what I do, but I mean it in the best possible ways. What most people don't know is that I went to 4 different high schools, and like I don't even know how many schools before I went to those 4 high schools, moving around, and so educators were a massive, massive part of who I am today, because they sort of took over as. They took me under their wing in many cases and taught me about discipline, taught me about how important it was just to think, right? Like I wasn't even thinking as a kid. I was more worried about, do I look cool? Am I tough enough to handle the fight after school today? Am I going to be able to pull off this move with Chris Genovese on the soccer field later, because he always beats me to the ball? You know what I'm saying? And it's like those little things. It wasn't about academics or any of that. And so I was a terrible student. So teachers took me under their wing, and it's really clear to me, I'm fortunate. It's so clear to me what makes a good teacher that's really invested in his students. And I'm not saying that you're a bad teacher if you're not personally invested in your students. You just have a different connection with people, and you have a different connection with your audience if it's not personal to you, right? Yeah. But I can tell that you have a real vested interest in offering an awesome curriculum that really, by the end of that conversation, that session, that minute, everything is developmental, right? Everything is positive, developmental, growing. Even in the conversations that I saw you have on campus whenever I came out there and I spoke to them after the COBO bottle fundraiser, right? Like we were standing around shooting the shit with a couple, I don't know, they were middle schoolers, right? How old were they?
Yeah.
12?
Yeah, 11 through 14 years old.
Yeah, and they were coming up with a business plan. I think it was a business plan on how to extract extinct animals from like special places, or how to extract like animals from your attic or something, right? And so we're going through like the legality of that, and Mr. Champion's like, well, you've got to get licensing for that, so be sure to budget for it. And I'm like, I didn't even fucking think about that, dude. What are you talking about?
One of those
You're going to need a budget for legal just in case something goes wrong. What if you're in the attic and you get stung and you fall through the roof, and now you got to pay for all their sheetrock repairs? What are you going to do then? And these kids are like, shit, I don't want to be an entrepreneur. Like, don't fuck this up for me. Yeah. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is that Stuart Champion takes the shit seriously. Mr. Champion, you take it seriously, and I appreciate that. Even if it's racing around the house after, household items. But I imagine that there's got to be, man, that's just you, right? I can only imagine what, like, all the teachers and all the students in the world could, like, what are they really thinking about what's going to happen in a month or a year on education? And what does this do to change the education landscape, right? Pretty cool to think about. Yeah. I'm not even going to get into it because it's postulating on so many unknowns. Yeah. Right?
It is. I'm not too concerned about teaching going permanently online. We have online schools and colleges, and now we're creating all this content for distant learning, but nothing beats face-to-face when you have those kids with you in class. Like, it's not that they're not the students in your class, you're in class together.
Yep. But you can't be face-to-face now, can you, Stuart? We're face-to-face right here, but we're taking precautions. Yeah. We're 8 feet away from each other. Yeah. I'm not making out with you like I usually do.
That's not weird.
What do you mean? Well, what did I just? Sorry.
I think you said that out loud.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm fucking kidding. What you guys are doing is progressive, and it's pivotal by definition. You're pivoting your education. I mean, we have someone that works for us, Peyton, for example, who goes to school and classes have stopped. Am I right? Entirely. So you're not getting an education right now? No, that sounds like a big fat no to me, and that sucks, but it is what it is. I'm sure this heat and the weather is going to be nice, but you can't leave the house. So are you educating yourselves? Parents need to be taking that on, I assume. There's a lot of things that we can be doing, but we're rethinking a lot of things. And how long does this go on where you can't have 600 kids back to back with their slimy little hands and faces and ears rubbing up on each other and rubbing up on everything else? Ew, gross. You can't do that anymore.
Yeah, I'm sure most school districts are working really hard to make it through to the summer holiday, and then because we can reset and see how is this landscape going to look
totally
by August, which is typically when teachers go back into school for in-service, and prepare for the next school year. So I know so many teachers doing amazing jobs using so many different platforms, but we have a large spectrum of educators, from you've just graduated with your master's and it's your first or second year teaching, to student teachers, to veteran teachers who have worked for 30 years with little to no technology. So from what I've seen, educators are doing a phenomenal job, because they
couldn't agree more.
They really
agree more.
They really do care about their kids, but so many of them have their own kids at home. So not only are they working face-to-face on Zoom or FaceTime for 2 hours a day and preparing for that, but they also have their own kids to homeschool and teach at the same time. So,
and okay, so that's one element. Let's not even, we could go on and on about this. I'm about to change the subject, but if you think about all of the other folks in the medical industry that are on weird hours and now their kids are at home.
Yeah.
And now their kids can't be with other people who would watch their kids typically.
Yeah.
Right? Like, shit's getting complicated.
Yeah.
But we are managing it I just want to say, I feel like we're managing it pretty well.
Yeah.
You guys are doing a great job. When I say we, I'm not saying I'm an educator. I'm just saying, like, in general, we're doing all right now.
It's hard to understand, as this podcast may be getting into so many different households.
Totally.
Everybody's situation is unique and different.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own challenges.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to stop you right there, because I just said we're doing all right now. I can't speak for anyone else.
No.
I can't. And I'm not saying we, as in the global we, are doing all right now. I have a lot of opinions on that as a human race, on the we, right? I'm not even going to get into that right now. Not happening. But what I am going to say is, when I say we're doing all right, I'm talking about myself, the people that are close to me, my family, my loved one. It's not that I don't think about the other people and I don't care about them. It's not that. What I'm saying is that I'm very, very proud of the people that I'm close to, those we, and we're doing all right now.
Yeah.
And we're helping people along the way, and we're coming together as a community. And I think that's super important.
Yeah.
I think it's super important. I appreciate you. That's all I'm saying, dude, and what you guys are doing. So keep it up. Yeah. I'm stoked to hear all the stories about the weird shit that goes down in those households in your sessions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you for a little bit of advice, though. So I was taking a shower 2 days ago. This is about to get a little bit weird. So I was taking a shower a couple of days ago, and I might have had a smoke before I got in the shower, okay? And I started thinking about this kids thing. I started thinking about this life thing. I started thinking about all these things. And then I also, I'd spoken with my dad recently, because he just got out of a really, really intense surgery 2 days ago. So I was thinking about, he went in on Tuesday and he got out yesterday, right? But he can't speak because they had to go in through his throat in a really kind of invasive, one of many surgeries that he's been through recently. And so I was thinking about him. I was just thinking about life, you know, and water's beating down on me. And I'm like, man, I wonder who is going to carry on the Avant name, because it's not looking good. I'm serious. It's going to die at my generation, potentially. It's like a 50-50 chance that the Avant name gets carried on. And even then, who's going to say that it's a boy? Should I care? Should I care? Is that vain? That's my first question to you.
Is it vain that you're concerned that your family name may end at your generation?
Yeah. Well, no, it's a little different. Yeah. That's what I'm asking you.
You know,
and that concerns me, and maybe I want to do something about it.
Well, it's when you ask a question like that, I think many people are reflecting on their own family tree and how is that valuable to them? Is it a different set of values for a man versus a woman? I have a twin sister, but married, and now she's a Harrison and not a champion.
Yeah.
Right? I have one cousin. He's 8 years older than me, and he had 2 daughters. Huh. But I didn't feel any responsibility to have to need to carry on a family name or a bloodline personally.
Can you do a hypothetical? Can we go there?
What if?
Yeah. How do you get into hypothetical brain? Put yourself in my shoes. Your last name, your bloodline ends where you are, and it's up to you to make a difference.
But I think I've already rectified that in my own brain.
You wouldn't do it.
It doesn't really matter. You've got to do what's best for you. Do you feel any pressure from any other family members?
No, I don't feel. As a matter of fact, you know how I am. You apply pressure on me, and I clam up.
Run the other way.
Yeah, I'm gonna choke you out. Don't do that again. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I'm exactly the same.
Yeah. So so the more pressure they give, the less inclined I am. Yeah, no doubt. But, so, all right, so question one.
Someone's taking a picture of your 1968 Volvo outside.
Oh, cool. It's kind of cool to have this window here, and it gives you sort of an active distraction. So
you have people walking by. That's the community. It's probably how you met these guys, just walking by the shop front.
Yeah, kind of pretty much that way. You might want to meet overalls over there. I don't know. You can meet a lot of people here. So I'm thinking about calling my family members, asking them what their plans are, if they're even interested in having kids, because I'd like to know, like things change. But if right now, for example, like right now, I were to call all of my cousins, and if I were to call each and every one of them and ask them, hey, you planning on having kids? Because, oh, by the way, but I don't want to be that family member that puts pressure on them, right? Like, hey, oh, by the way, that if none of us have kids, our name and bloodline ends here. Do you know that? I feel like that's peer pressure automatically. Or is it just an intelligent, like grown-up conversation?
I think you're smart enough to get into that conversation naturally with your family members.
Okay. Yeah. I'm into it. So I need to make that phone call. Now, the next phone call that I need to make is to my girlfriend, right? And talk to her openly about this, right? Like, what if I need to have kids? So I'm also going to have to make a decision on whether I go get my balls checked. Like, can I make kids?
It's funny you bring this conversation up, because after knowing you for about 10 years, if we had a conversation about Logan and Avant having kids, you'd be like, hell no.
But you know what I'm saying, right? Yeah. Like, what if the bloodline and the name ends here?
Are you okay with that?
I don't know. I'm trying to work through that right now with my friend,
Was this a conversation in therapy earlier too?
No.
How long is this?
It's not okay for you to bring up therapy. It's only okay for me to bring up my therapy. You can bring up your own therapy, by the way.
You are my therapist. So
yeah, that's fair. All right. So what was the real question? Does this bother me? No, I'm not taking it that seriously. But if I do find out from my family members that they're like, you know what, dude? No, we do not want to have kids. It's not in the book for us. It's not in the cards.
I feel like I see a bigger picture now. You just turned 39 years old. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
What, a week or
you're going to reel that in.
About a week or two ago.
Reel that in. All right.
Every time your birthday comes around, it's like, whoa, I did get a year older. I mean, our buddy Jarrett thought you turned 41. I'm like, no, he's got time.
Dick.
He's got time. He's 39. I think that's healthy conversations. If you're having this conversation out loud on a live podcast.
Healthy conversations.
You know what? You'd be a great dad. You'd be a great role model.
Okay, this isn't helping my initial thought that I don't need
I mean,
to be
if you only want to surf like once every 2 weeks instead of 4 times a week, you should definitely have children.
Yeah. So that's the thing, right? Like, no, you're right. I'm not ready. I'm not ready right now from just, a capacity perspective, right? Mm-hmm. Mentally, physically, I'm ready. I could have a kid, right? Think so anyway. I got to get my balls checked. But like, I could throw that down. But I'm going to have to give up a lot of other stuff that I'm doing, to your point, and I'm not ready to do that right now. But I think it's a healthy conversation to have with myself. Yeah. I think it's a healthy growth conversation that maybe I'm actually growing up and becoming an adult. You know what I'm saying? That maybe this is important to me, and how vain is that? Maybe I don't think it's vain at all. I think it's an instinctive response for us to reproduce, but do we want to really, is this the world that we want to be reproducing in, or is the future that we're bringing kids into where we want them to be?
Yeah.
There's a lot of questions to ask there as well. Is my name and my bloodline really important for the larger scheme of things? Well, I don't know. Maybe I build an empire out of the stuff that I've invested my time into, and the only person I trust is a kid that I pass it on to.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how I do it. I don't know.
That's a bigger picture of it, is like all this stuff I'm creating and building. I'd like to be able to
But I don't think about that.
Share this with someone down the road. But
I think about now and tomorrow. I want to go fast. I want to go hard. I want to spend it all, and I want to have fun doing it, and I want to help people along the way, not in that order.
Yeah, in one of those orders.
Yeah.
And nothing to do with being from Texas.
Exactly.
I would say that I'm not a parent. I've been loco parentis, so I've been in place of parents, working at a sports camp, Brant Lake Camp in upstate New York, and working in education for years, and have a master's in education. I've worked with thousands of students aged 4 through 24, right? But there's nothing that's going to shake your tail feather more than having a child.
Shake my tail feathers.
Yeah.
No doubt.
It's going to keep you on your toes, and there's a lot of sacrifices that come with that. But, we have mutual friends.
They were meant for that. They were both the two kind of people that were meant to be with someone and meant to be parents. Let's be real though, Stuart, right?
Yeah.
And how old are they? In their 20s?
No, they're
early 30s?
35, 33.
35, 33.
But why I'm bringing that up too is I've never seen two parents embrace, like on a personal level, two good friends and adults really nurture and care for a child in that way. And I just found out 2 days ago they're pregnant with number 2.
What the
They sent me this
holy
They were getting an ultrasound and this little heartbeat thing was going on, and it looked like a tiny little astronaut on the moon, because it's all in black and white, with the big helmet on. Or it was like a welder.
What do I have
She's got a
in
little
my
welder
belly?
in there.
Just when you say those words and I'm like, oh, that's an awkward moment. But really, when you see another human being inside of your belly and it looks like it's wearing a helmet, I would probably freak out in that very moment. You know what I'm saying?
You know that helmet's going to grow before it comes out.
Oh, man.
Don't think about it.
That is crazy.
No, I'm really excited for them. I'm proud of them.
Good.
Stoked of them.
I am too, actually. Give them my love and tell them that, dude, I'm so stoked for them.
Yeah, I will do.
So stoked. That's cool. Don't
tell them I told you.
Yeah.
They like to share that news
Do they?
themselves. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, no, I'll do it.
See, the first time they were pregnant, you should talk to them about having kids.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not going to get consultants on whether I should have kids or not from people that are parents already, right?
Yeah.
What I want to do is figure out whether my equation is really the end of the name or not, and then I'm just going to send it, right? I'm just going to send it. I don't know who with. Do I approach my current girlfriend and say, babe, 2 years, I'm looking to have a kid, right? Are you ready for that? Or do you even want to think about that? Because if you're not, I'm on to the next one. Then I become the woman. I'm going to say it. Then I become the woman that I've been dating for the last 8 years. The women that I've been dating for the last 8 years, which are, you know, it's been, where have I been in the last 8 years? Fort Worth, Texas, Portland, Oregon, Manhattan, North Westchester County, New York, Greenwich, Connecticut, San Diego, right? So in that time frame, I've dated a lot of people, and most of them are looking to get married and pump out kids. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, mid-30s.
Maybe I should be taking that like I'm a good suiter.
Body clock stick.
Maybe.
You got some good genes.
That's right. No.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just
You were maybe about 31 years old when I met you, but neither you or I were in a position to even entertain. We weren't in a relationship that we were going to have kids with. But maybe that's part of this conversation is you're actually in a relationship now with your girlfriend.
That's not what's happening.
Where you could actually see yourself have kids with.
That's not a thing.
And I think your girlfriend's amazing in a way where she shouldn't be called your current girlfriend, just your...
No, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
No, I don't call her my current girlfriend. I call her my girlfriend. And yes, I adore her. She is amazing. Most people do because she's adorable and amazing. However,
well, she's great.
I'm joking a bit whenever I say, should I be having kids, et cetera, et cetera. We have discussed actually how we would impregnate one of her friends who's willing to carry one of her babies. And I want to understand the science behind that because her friend's super cute and like 25. So, I mean, do I actually have to impregnate her or do they use like a syringe for that stuff? I got to go in there, huh? Oh, I gotta personally go. So me and her hook up in a lab.
The more natural, the better, right? Probably.
She and I hook up in a lab. I impregnate her.
You don't have to go to a lab to do that.
Oh, okay.
The doctor grabs
so
a whole...
somebody works it out for me. They get my sperm, or do I work it out myself? Probably. They get my sperm. They get my sperm, and then they insert it into an egg in a laboratory, and then they insert that egg into the...
Peyton, this is sex education.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
It's pretty cool that this process exists and gives people who want to be parents an opportunity to be parents. I think that's pretty cool. I also feel, and I'm open about this, I also feel like it's a little bit odd that we're able to beat the game of nature and go around it, right? We're able to go around what nature said, which was, not happening this time, right? And we do this in science with people, with crops. We do it We do it with our food. We've been doing it a long time. We were talking about pregnancy surrogates, and this all stemmed from my bizarre vanity issue of worrying about whether I'm going to carry on my family's name or not, right?
No, so I was married for 5 or 6 years to Shasta, and
Yeah.
she fell in love with another
Wait,
woman.
you guys were married to 5 or 6 years?
Yeah, 2007 we got married until about 2012 is when we went our separate ways.
Yeah,
but we
that's
didn't
when
file
we
for
met, right?
divorce for a year or two.
Yeah.
So technically 6 or 7 years. But anyway, yeah, she fell in love with a beautiful lady.
Tiger, right?
Tiger over a period of time. And
Tiger.
They wanted to have kids together, so I don't know if you guys know this story, but they decided they wanted to have two children, and they were going to carry one child each. But Tiger became pregnant with twins. So I think that was through in vitro fertilization, where they had a sperm donor, but it was Tiger's eggs that were fertilized.
A tiger's egg.
And it's almost somewhat of a catalog. You can choose, okay, I want this male.
Oh, my ex used to give up people would pay tons of money for her eggs.
Yeah.
She would do it all. Yeah. She would go do that and come home and go pay cash for a brand new Lexus.
From what I understand, that's quite
insane.
a painful progress to
it is.
to harvest female eggs. I mean, it's easier for a man to be a
She was
sperm
in
donor.
pain for a week or so after.
Yeah.
I think sore anyway, but she got used to it. It kind of messes her up though.
I think some people don't know what they're kind of getting into.
That's it.
With that, but anyway, yes, Tiger had twins, and Shasta was like, I get to keep my vagina in one piece.
Yeah. Okay.
And
that makes sense.
And yeah, they have two beautiful 3-year-old twins now.
Wow. When I met you, you were going through a separation with your wife.
Mm-hmm.
You had just gone through back surgery, or you needed it?
Yeah, I just had back surgery.
You just had back surgery, and your back was so bad before you went through surgery, which was during the official separation with your wife while you were traveling, as I understood.
And I was graduated with my master's in physical education and health.
And you were an immigrant, worried about whether you get to stay in the United States. You were so down on your back that you could not stand up, sit, or do anything, that you had to have kind of a critical surgery done in order for you to operate.
Yeah.
You were almost within probably the same week or so notified by your wife that she no longer wanted to be with you, and she did that remotely. She didn't tell you in person, if I recall.
Yeah, there was an evolution
to that. And this
to
isn't anything against her. I love and adore this woman.
Yeah.
We're not talking about her right now. I'm not talking about what she did to you, right? This is not what this is about. This isn't about, oh, poor Stuart, right? So you had been married since your early 20s. This is your best friend, walks away.
Yeah.
Doesn't really walk away, but she can't be around you anymore. And there's complexities that come along with that, which we won't get into, right? You moved, right? And potential risk of your income, your sole kind of like main income, which was fishing company work, right?
Right.
Potential.
Yeah.
Potential. So it's all up in the air.
Yeah.
And then you moved to Portland, Oregon, into a beautiful condo apartment in the Pearl District in Portland, Oregon, and you were downstairs being shown your new place, and I ran into you because we had the same car and we both had motorcycles, and we were young and single, right? And so you happened to just live down the hall. Oh, and you had a dog.
Golden Retriever.
I had a Golden Retriever and I had a Great Dane at the time, and they became best friends.
Yeah.
And we became close friends, and I was living with a beautiful girlfriend of mine of a few years at the time who had moved from Texas to Portland, Oregon with me.
Yeah.
Which was heavy, man. That was the first time I had made a move with somebody.
Yeah.
It was big for me anyway. I'm sure people do this shit all the time, but big for me because it was big.
I think that was one of the best decisions that I've personally made. I'm proud of myself. Looking back on now, the choice to move into that apartment somewhere in the middle of somewhere that was busy with big windows and it was light and bright. I couldn't afford to live there. Somehow they approved me, my application to move in there.
You looked like you could afford to live there, if that makes any difference.
Yeah. Tall white guy.
Yeah.
An unfair advantage. But I didn't want to live out of town in I guess the opposite to that would be to live outside of the city where it's quieter, maybe renting something that's cheaper where it's a bit darker. I'm not in the middle of it all.
Yep.
I needed life. I needed connection. I needed to be there and out there and meet people. After living 5 or 6 years in Oregon, I'd never lived in the Pearl District, but I was back to being single after several years, and that's a different landscape in itself.
Yeah. I can tell you, I've been doing that for 40 years almost now.
Yeah.
It's not easy, man. But
I wasn't on social media. I wasn't doing any of those things, or there wasn't dating apps or anything like that. And and a lot of my friends around there were Shasta's friends too. So there was a bit of a disconnect, not just in the relationship, but in the friendship group, just because people didn't really know exactly what was going on. And I didn't really understand what was going on, and neither did Shasta at that time. So there were so many unknowns. But yeah, it was great to meet you and Klaus and Lauren and start building a network. We ended up surfing. And, even surfing with Kate downstairs and meeting Tani down the hall.
Oh, we had a blast. We met a lot of people that loved to mob out to the coastline and surf, and we had a lot of fun getting to know each other. It was a really pivotal time for a lot of us. It kind of all came together. Like my girlfriend and I split. You were going through all that. I'll never forget that letter that you wrote me. I still have that letter that you wrote me. And it was a genuine thank you for just being a good friend, or a friend, or someone there to work out with you and work through some of the hard stuff. So there's this. And during these times, Stuart and I, in our single days after me and my girl split, we would go out and we would get mammered, and we would eat all the stuff in town. We would eat everything, and we would drink everything, and we would have fun and ride our motorcycles around, and we would do all the stuff, right? But the thing is now, Stuart doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't do any drugs. He doesn't drink coffee. Hell, this guy used to make me sandwiches with meat, and used to make me espressos at his place. He was so proud of his espresso machine, his grinder, and all this shit. Now, not a single drug in this man's body.
I'm pure. I'm clean.
That's right, dude. And you're a vegan.
Yeah. Just start doing those things that make you feel better.
Just like in brief, dude. Like what? Why? You look great. You're in excellent shape, bro. Because I knew you beforehand. I knew you when you had back problems. I knew you when you were eating all the shit. You're a little chunky, a little chubby in the cheeks.
Yeah.
But that's all right. That doesn't mean you're unhealthy or unfit. I'm just saying, bro, now you are healthy and about it and capable and strong. You're a great athlete, bro. Never seen you in better shape. I personally am not a vegan. I don't know why I haven't shifted yet. It's just kind of like...
Your answer is usually, I am for 2 meals a day.
And that's true.
Not for dinner.
2 to 3 meals a day. I'm a vegan.
Yeah.
But not all of them.
And you'll eat anything that I make.
I will eat everything you make.
Yeah.
Yeah. That lasagna that one night was a little off. All right. So I want to hear just the basis. What's the core? Give me the low, short, clean, and dirty. Like, what made you turn the other direction, and why haven't you cheated or gone back?
I think to bring this full circle from where we've just been, I think the turning point in my life was that 1 month where my relationship was ending. I was going through back surgery, but I was learning to be a health science and physical educator. Mm-hmm. And once I got back onto my feet, and that's where I really found yoga and surfing, played the guitar.
Yep.
Trying to, I think driving out to the Oregon coast, connecting with nature, I just felt more connected to the ground and earth than I ever had. And I think the people I surrounded me with gave me a new vision, new hope for this world. And as I started to clean things up, we all know what's healthy for us and what's not, but to commit to that and feeling the benefits of that. Now, when I stopped drinking, did I go back and drink again here and there? Yes. But then how did I feel the next day?
Shitty.
So everything was a self-experiment. Right. Everything it's been an 8-year process, and I haven't stopped learning. I'm still on my journey.
Sure.
And I'm at this point where I feel great. I can go and cycle 100 miles or go surf 3 sessions for 2 hours. And
cycle 100 fucking miles.
Yeah, but so many people do that.
Bro.
So
I don't do that, so let me freak out for a hot minute. All right, like cycle 100 miles? Bro, yeah. Okay, so many people do that. What % of the population cycle 100 miles?
I don't know. But
yeah, a small.
Up and down the highway 101.
You make it sound like a lot of people when you're like, so many people do that. But listen, not a lot of people do that if you look at the percentage of people.
I just think the human body is amazing when you really do look after it. And Logan,
I couldn't agree with that.
You were one of those guys that I remember saying, dude, I want to be more shredded. I want a 6-pack. I'm like, well, you got to stop eating the meat and gravy.
Who said that?
You said that.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah.
I was like, if you wanted to be fit, what was the key terminology that I used? You are exactly what you eat. That is what you are. What you put in your body is fuel. You want to put shit fuel in there, you're going to run like shit. You want to put healthy, clean fuel in there, you're going to run healthy on all cylinders, your body, your mind, and I still stick to that. Now, am I vegan? No. Do I still eat pretty healthy? Yeah. Do I need to be putting all that other shit in my body? You've proven to me, not just by my witnessing, but through science, data, educating me in your meal cooking, educating me about hormones, putting other animals' hormones in my body, right?
If you're so in tune with your body, I remember you telling me, Logan, there was a keynote speaker at an event that you went to, and he used the analogy of you were so in tune with your own body as most people are with their vehicles. When the warning light comes on and we maybe need a service or an oil check or there's something wrong with our car engine, we go and get that checked out, probably within 2 days. Right. I had a check engine light on my motorcycle 2 days ago, and I took it to the shop yesterday.
Yeah, it's a motorcycle, bro.
If
you're doing like 100 miles an hour on that thing.
But if you're
faster,
so in tune with
you don't want anything wrong with it. But that's the same with your body, bro.
Exactly. To be vulnerable in this conversation, I'm not just focused on what makes me feel better and my individual health. It made me think about my grandfather. My grandfather was this amazing man who was doing night missions over Berlin in World War II, became a detective in the police force in Great Britain. And he was the pinnacle of our family. He brought everybody together. When we lost him when I was a teenager, we lost a huge thing that was basically the epicenter of our family. And I was confused as a teenager why he passed away, and he had colorectal cancer. And in the last...
What kind of cancer? Colorectal
cancer.
Okay.
So, and in the last several years, you know, my dad's gone through bouts of prostate cancer, skin cancer, and my dad's doing okay now. But it really made me think, I mean, I can't control my genes. You know, that's one thing you cannot control. I have my genetics from my family, but I can control my lifestyle. And my lifestyle for the first 18 to 20 years of my life was the same as my grandfather and my father and my mum and sister, because we all ate together.
Sure.
We walked together, we hiked together, we lived together. So in the learning and understanding of my health science and physical education, I learned that our genetics count for less than 10%, maybe less than 7% of my chance of getting a disease like colorectal cancer, prostate cancer, skin cancer.
Oh, it's all about habits. It's all about diet. It's all about nutrition.
90% of that, was your lifestyle.
Absolutely.
And that's the one thing I'm in control of.
Yep.
And that's one reason why we're here today. I mean, you and I became good friends in Portland, Oregon, and you went out east, and you actually beat me down to San Diego, even though I talked about moving down this way for several years.
Yeah, that was my plan the whole time. Just beat Stuart to San Diego. Yeah, exactly. That was on my A list. And that's why I went and bought a house out here. No, no.
And then you moved, Jarrett moved, and I was like, how am I the last one?
Yeah.
But
no, it's in so you said something interesting there that resonates with me, which was let me bring it back if I can, was you were saying something about it being 90% or greater on behavior and nutrition.
Lifestyle.
And which is behavior, nutrition, lifestyle, mental health, and all of that. But the interesting thing that I don't think people understand, not everybody is conscious of or want to admit to, is that what you inherit through genetics of your prior generations is also lifestyle and behavior, whether you want to believe it or not. That's why I would argue, right? I would argue that the study says yes, but the study's a bit biased in a direction, which I'm not challenging the data and I'm not challenging the study necessarily. I'm just saying, let's look at it or think about it in a little different way. If you're saying that 10% or less, whatever, is genetic disposition to be higher likely to catch cancer or a certain type of cancer because of these conditions, right?
Yeah, autoimmune
less than
diseases,
10%.
heart disease, yeah,
let's say less than 10% is due to genetics, and the 90%, let's go with that. I would argue that half of what you inherit, right, from prior generations is also behavior and lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that's why I also believe that it takes a long time and a lot more effort to change that direction. Do you know what I mean? Because it's instinctively and inherently inside of you.
I think those formative years of growing up, we're talking about Andrew and Nicole with their 18-month-old, but that time you learn from your environment, right? You're talking, if we've got a certain percentage that's genetic, we have a certain percentage that's environmental or lifestyle.
It's like the diathesis model.
You learn from your family growing up. You think, well, they're 50, 60, 70 years old. They made it this far. If they're eating that, they survive. They're going to be okay.
Yep.
But it's the things that are harming us. If I go down the road and eat a steak or chicken or milk or something like that, I'm not going to die. I might not feel so good the next morning. I might be pooping my pants in the morning when I wake up.
Poopy, making a poop. Making a little
different
poopies.
digestion system going on. But if I'm eating those things 2 or 3 meals a day for 40 or 50 years, there's going to be a compounding effect.
Absolutely.
And we're seeing that trend in our population. So I think, learning from my grandfather, learning from my dad, and the one thing I'm proud of now, it took a few years in conversation. My dad is one of the most stubborn men I've ever met, and he has now been whole food plant-based for 3 years. He's come off all of his medications. He's not on his high blood pressure or high cholesterol medication. Over 2 or 3 years, he's lost 40 to 50 pounds.
Bro.
They are traveling all over the country and
That is
the world,
unbelievable.
and they have their health.
Yeah.
And he was the man that smoked 60 cigarettes a day when I was 5 years old. And I said to him, Dad, I don't like you smoking. I don't like the smell. And he quit that day. So thankfully, he had that money saved from not smoking 60 cigarettes a day. That helped put my sister and I through college. And, we came from a working class family. It sounds like I'm this rich kid that worked in the French Alps or did this or did that. But
no, you worked for that.
I just had my family support to say, you go pursue your journey.
Yep.
If you take a huge fall, give us a call.
Yep.
I worked my way everywhere that I went.
Yeah. Critical.
And now I'm so proud of my mom and dad and
absolutely.
My sister.
It just blows my. It is literally that what you just stated about the health of your parents and particularly your father, not the smoking bit because that was a long time, coming on his health piece. But the bit where when they move to vegan, they come off their medications. And now they're walking longer and farther and they're feeling better and healthier and going on vacations and feeling up to it. Like, what?
Yeah.
That is literally unbelievable. And I'm not challenging the truth of it. I'm just saying my mind is blown.
Well, you've known them for several years.
And it's an absolute fact. Now, I'm not saying that you're not saying that's a solution for everyone that they see those kinds of results.
But I think you can start to positively impact the environment and the people around you little by little. I don't go in school and say, hey, everybody, my name's Mr. Champion, I'm a vegan. I don't really talk about that. If I'm walking around school with a smoothie before school,
sure,
and the students are like, hey, what is that? It's green, it doesn't look good. Yeah. But I say, well, it's spinach, bananas, peanut butter, blueberries. They're like, whoa, that's amazing.
Because it is amazing.
That was one of the YouTube videos I made because all the kids wanted to know what was in Mr. Champion's morning smoothie.
Yeah.
And in that
we all want to know what's in Mr. Champion's morning smoothie. Trust me, they are amazing.
If you do a search in YouTube, I use my last name Champion before any workout. So Champion agility training, cool. Champion banana bread.
And this is the Champion morning smoothie session?
This is, Champion green smoothie.
Perfect. I'll go look for it.
But if you can find
one. We'll include it in the show notes.
Yeah.
Well, look, I wanted to say, I definitely wanted to get onto that topic because I know that it's been a pivotal thing, and I know you diverted the conversation a little bit whenever I said, this has been a pivotal change in your life to become a vegan, and it wasn't it wasn't a quick, like I said, cold turkey. It's been a transition.
It's not overnight.
It's not a cold turkey thing. It's a transition, and I needed to hear that, and I think it's important for all of us to know. I'm not far behind you, I think, and I also thought it was important to share a little bit of background on where you come from and why it's important to you, right? Yeah. And that it's just not a way of life for you. It's a way of life for the people around you. It's a way of life for the people you come in contact with, but you're not doing it in a preachy or coachy way, right? You're just being it. And by being it, people are interested.
I feel that my time growing up in England, which is part of Europe, really, and then working in the French Alps in that French culture where I've never lived within a culture that really does share, explore, and takes passion in the food that they create or create and make together. Yep. In France, we sit down for 3 hours for an evening meal, and that is community.
We do that here now. We're spending all kinds of time eating over the dinner table,
Logan
having real
conversations.
conversation.
A businessman might say, hey, dinner's ready at 7. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm pretty flexible with my European timing. But we're also
9 o'clock we were eating.
It's going to be natural, and we're going to unwind over 2 or 3 hours, because I think the epicenter of every culture is surrounding food and the habits we create. I mean, why do we have turkey at Thanksgiving?
Here he goes. I love it. No, I love it.
Why do grandparents give kids chocolate for every time they see them?
Preach
like
it,
this
baby.
Little hit of sugar.
We celebrate with food and drink and wine together. Yeah. And I think it is an absolutely beautiful thing. And what does that come back to? Native Americans, it comes back to Europeans. It's a cultural thing, right? It's in the essence of who we are.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, we're going to call it a wrap. All right. I much appreciate you. So thanks for your time, guys.
You.